Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel and welcome back to another meal prep video. So in this video, I like to just hopefully inspire and motivate people to meal prep and just have different things on hand that are ready for during the week when it's so busy, work schedules and probably not school schedules right now. Everybody, I think most everybody's out of school unless you're in like a year-round school, but maybe. Work schedules, school schedules just tend to get in the way, and it makes it so much easier when there are things prepared, even if it's not quite cooked yet, but just prepared. I have a couple new recipes this week that I am going to be trying. So I am doing a voiceover in this video, so instead of doing a how did it taste video, I'm just gonna let you know how they tasted right here in this video since we already tasted them. And then also for those of you who guys, okay, so I can't speak, y'all. Also, for those of you who do not know, I'm a full-time working mama. My husband's a full-time working dad, and we just live a bivvy. Y'all, like seriously, what is my problem? We just live a bivvy lifestyle, y'all. We just live a busy lifestyle. So when I meal prep and just have things prepared, it makes not only my life easier, but my husband's life easier as well, because I work 12-hour shifts. I leave at 8 o'clock in the morning and I don't get home till 9:30, close to 10 o'clock at night. So if I didn't have things prepared, he would not be a happy camper either. So for me and my family, it is crucial to at least meal prep and have some things prepared. Don't need a ton of stuff prepared, just some things prepared on the days that we work. But let's jump in the kitchen and let's get to cooking. Alright, so the first thing I'm going to prepare is bacon for the week. I'm just covering this pan with some aluminum foil so that way it's easier cleanup. And I always like to have bacon prepared because my family loves bacon. They put bacon in everything. They use it for omelets, they throw it on their burgers, literally everything. They eat it plain. So I always like to have bacon prepared for the week so that way everybody is happy. The bacon I use, I just try to make sure that it's 0 carb, 0 sugar. I don't necessarily make sure it's nitrate free or anything like that, just because that can get pretty pricey. And then a subscriber friend of mine told me to fold the bacon in half and you can fit more on the pan, and it works perfectly. That's what I've been doing from now on. I can fit that entire box of bacon on this sheet here and it works out perfectly. So then I just bake it at 400 degrees for around 20 minutes, just depending on how crispy or not crispy you like yours. Then I'm just going to take this sausage here and I am just going to cut it up into small pieces, and I am actually going to saute this in a pan and throw some eggs in there, scramble some eggs with it, throw in some cheese, and that is one simple and easy breakfast to prepare. All you gotta do is throw it in containers and you're good to go for the week. I decided to do this just to make it easy. I usually do egg bites or something like that, but I just went for simplicity this week. And you can cut your sausage as big or as small as you like it. So as you see, I sauteed up my sausage. I just threw the eggs in there, and yeah, I'm just going to scramble the eggs up and then throw the cheese in there, and that is one delicious breakfast prepared for the work week. Our bacon is done. What better smell is there than bacon freshly baked straight out of the oven? Yum! And look at that sausage, eggy, cheesy goodness, y'all. So good. Then this next recipe here is actually called cinnamon sugar donut style muffins. I have made these before on my channel, and these things are the best muffins I have ever made on keto. So the first thing I'm putting in there is a half a cup of powdered erythritol. And then I'm throwing in there 1.5 cups of blanched almond flour. The almond flour I actually pick up at Costco because I think it's the cheapest there. And then I threw in some psyllium husk powder, 2 tablespoons. I get that on Amazon. As well as 2 teaspoons baking powder. I always make sure I get the aluminum-free baking powder. Throwing in there a half a teaspoon of nutmeg. A half a teaspoon of ginger. A fourth a teaspoon of allspice, and then I'm just going to stir this up. And I don't like to sift my almond flour just because I'm lazy like that, but if you get a whisk and you kind of whisk it, the whisk actually does an amazing job at getting out all the clumps. Just a little tip for y'all. And I will have all of these recipes down below, so this will be one of the recipes that I'll have down below. And like I said, I've had this before. This is bomb. These are literally the best muffins I've ever made. All right, now that our dry ingredients are done, I am just going to prepare all of our wet ingredients in this smaller bowl here. So I am just taking some grass-fed Kerrygold butter, and I'm just going to throw this in the microwave, and that way it's softened up and a little bit melty, so that way it stirs in well with all the other ingredients. All right, now that we got the butter in there, I'm just going to throw in 1 teaspoon of vanilla. A half a cup of heavy whipping cream. And 2 large eggs. All right, I'm just going to mix this all together. And then I'm just going to mix all of the wet ingredients and the dry ingredients together. And the batter in this recipe is a little bit thick, just to give you guys a heads up. All right, now I'm just making sure I spray my cupcake pan very, very well so that way they don't stick, because I was out of cupcake liners. I actually got some at the Dollar Tree, and they are super small, and they fit really weird, so I decided not to use them. But I'm just going to distribute all of this in this cupcake pan, and then I am going to bake these in an oven that I already preheated to 350 degrees for around 18 to 20 minutes. And while that bakes, I am going to prepare the cinnamon sugar coating that is going to go on here, or on the cupcakes. So the first thing I put in there is 1/4 cup of granulated sweetener. And then next I'm throwing in 1 teaspoon of cinnamon, and I'm just going to give that a quick little stir and set it to the side. All right, so the cupcakes are done. I let them cool, and I just took some butter. It says to take 2 tablespoons of butter. I didn't really measure it out. I just kind of put some butter in there and melted it. But I'm basically just kind of basting the butter onto the muffins, so that way when I dip the muffins in the cinnamon and sugar mixture, then it sticks. And I just do this with every single one of them. And let me just tell you, I can't talk highly enough about these muffins, you guys. These are so good. If you're a cinnamon lover, these are for you for sure. Look at that goodness. Oh, so good. All right, so the next thing I decided to prepare is we bought a rotisserie chicken at Costco. And obviously I'm fixing my camera there. Sorry. But I decided that I was just going to, still fixing my camera. I decided I was just going to separate the chicken into bags, so that way I could freeze them and we would just have chicken ready in the freezer for different recipes or whatnot for the week. I love to just separate rotisserie chicken meat into bags, and that makes for one easy meal prep. You come home from work, or, even if you just want something simple, throw the chicken in a pan, throw some seasonings in there, make a little side dish, and that could even be a meal. So super easy. But what I think I'm going to do with it, I think one of those, I don't know about the other one, but one of those, I think I'm going to use it for, we haven't had chicken and vegetable soup for a while, so maybe I'll make some chicken and veggie soup in my Instapot. Then I just date them, so that way I know when I prepared those. And I'm going to do the same thing with the ground beef here. I'm just going to get several baggies ready, and I'm just going to separate my ground beef into, that basically is a 5-pound tube. So I'm just going to separate them into 1-pounders. My daughter came in there and chit-chatted with me. That's always nice when you're meal prepping and you have somebody to chit-chat with. I love having ground beef ready to go. Ground beef is probably one of our favorite go-to meats during the week. There's nothing simpler than pulling out some ground beef and even just making something as simple as taco meat, or, even just making the ground beef and throwing a little bit of salt and pepper in there. All right, so I'm just gonna close up all these little baggies, and then again, I am gonna put the date on there. I always try to get as much air out of there as I possibly can. Part of that I left out because I am going to make some meatloaf as well. So haven't had meatloaf in a while. So there they are, finished product with the date on there. But trust me, they'll get eaten way before they would ever go bad. So now I'm just gonna make some keto meatloaf. So I'm throwing 2 pounds of ground beef in this bowl. I'm gonna throw in there 2 eggs, half a cup of flaxseed, and that's ground flaxseed. I'm just throwing in there a little bit of flaked onions. And some garlic. And this recipe again will be down in the description box as well, y'all, if you want to try it. Throwing in there some tomato paste. Then I'm going to throw in there some Worcestershire sauce. Some Italian seasoning. Some salt. Pepper. And then I love barbecue sauce in my meatloaf. You may not want to add this into yours because it makes it to where the meatloaf doesn't want to stick together very well. But I love the taste of barbecue sauce in my meatloaf. So even though it kind of falls apart when you go to eat it, it's worth it to me because, like I said, I just love the taste. So I would not throw that in there. That was just like something that I did if you want it to stay together like meatloaf is supposed to stay together. So now I just sprayed this loaf tin and I'm just throwing all of the meatloaf into this loaf pan and I'm just going to spread it out evenly. I did preheat my oven to 350 degrees. And I'm gonna bake this for around an hour. I think I baked mine for a little over an hour. But if you want to put ketchup on the top, you bake it for about 30 minutes and then you pull it out and then you throw it in for like another 45 minutes after you add the ketchup. But again, I'll have the original recipe down below because I don't follow the rules on recipes. But this next recipe, I am just basically cutting up these radishes, and this recipe is another recipe that I've never tried, and let me just tell you, it was bomb, along with the meatloaf that I just made. Never tried it before either. It was bomb as well. But I'm just going to take the radishes, I'm going to fry them up in this avocado oil. And I just fry them up enough to where they start to brown. And I am throwing some seasonings in there. I'm just throwing in some garlic, salt, and some pepper. You guys can throw in whatever seasonings you want. And for those of you who don't know, radishes kind of take on the flavor and the consistency of potatoes. So I've made them before in stews, keto stews, and this here that I'm making now is kind of like a cheesy potato. All right, so I'm just gonna let these radishes brown a little bit in this pan. Meanwhile, I have some ribeyes and some chicken breasts on the grill cooking up for the week. Gonna throw some garlic salt on there, as well as some pepper. What could possibly be better looking than ribeye steak on a grill, y'all? And then Oscar went ahead and threw on some more sausages on the grill. All right, our radishes are looking good, y'all. They're starting to get browned. So now I'm just gonna throw some cheese on there. And let me just tell you, this dish was a hit. Everybody couldn't believe it. They were like, they taste like red potatoes. They were so good. This recipe, again, will be in the description box. And that is the meatloaf. Like I said, it did fall apart because I threw in all that extra barbecue sauce, but it tasted bomb. All right, y'all, so that is the end of my meal prep video. And I hope you guys found this inspirational and motivational to meal prep for yourself and your family. Again, the two new recipes that I tried in this video were the radishes and the meatloaf. And they were both bomb. and I will be making them again, and my entire family they loved it. I mean, they were both a total score in my family. But like always, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate every single one of you guys, and don't forget to go out there and make today even better than yesterday. And again, all those recipes will be in the description box below. I will talk to you in my next video. Bye!